Hello, and welcome to another of our video podcasts for Slimmr. Today I'm talking about maximizing your enthusiasm for your new life, your new fitter life. Now, enthusiasm is a great thing. I think I'm quite lucky because I'm an optimistic and enthusiastic person by nature, and I know that some people have to work at this a lot harder than I do. But I try and work at keeping these levels up because I do think that being an enthusiastic person kind of paves the way for you. You get more done, and I think people react to you in a more positive way. I want you to recall now what your thoughts were about the new life you could have when you decided to go on the weight loss program. Maybe you had plans like this, I'll get 4 stone lighter and I'll take up ballroom dancing, ballet, join a running club, do internet dating, become a volunteer of some kind, get a new job, maybe train to be a nurse, a teacher, whatever. So where are you with that? Do you still have enthusiasm for those things? Or as you get nearer to the point where you might be able to consider them, are you thinking, did I get that right? Maybe there are other things. You may feel perhaps that you're not changing in the way that you thought you would, and therefore maybe your enthusiasm is dwindling a bit. Is this the problem, I wonder? Let me tell you about somebody I'm going to call Sharon, who was a friend of mine back in the 80s, and something that she had to come to terms with. She was not on a weight loss program, but she had a thing in her life that really irked her, and it was her nose. She hated her nose. And she thought in a kind of way that her nose was responsible for everything that didn't go right in her life. And she saved up what was a lot of money for those days to have cosmetic nose surgery, and she had it, and she was very pleased and enthusiastic about her new nose. But what she was forced to recognize was that it didn't entirely change her life. Yes, she had a better nose, but she had thought that it would solve a lot of other things. I mean, I think this was an unconscious thinking. She would get a man who would be really lovely and would treat her well. She would have more friends. She would get a different job, a better paid one, things of that nature. Fortunately, she was a very sensible person, and having already spent a lot on surgery, she spent a little bit more and had some therapy. And this helped her to be a bit more realistic about what a new nose could bring her. As it turned out, she did change boyfriends fairly soon after that for somebody who was lovely and did treat her well. I don't know if she got any more friends because actually she was a very popular person in the first place, although maybe she recognised it better. And I seem to remember she did get promotion at work. But she realised that the nose wasn't responsible for it all. So I'm just wondering whether you've been identifying weight loss as a way to open masses of new doors for you and somehow create a whole new bright, shiny life. I think it would be quite understandable if you had at least unconsciously been thinking that, but maybe you need to slightly rethink that because the weight loss is one thing, but other things are other things, aren't they? Maybe your expectations just need to become a little bit more realistic. I don't mean that you won't be able to achieve great things and have a much better life. I don't mean that at all. People do achieve extraordinary things all the time. There's no reason why you shouldn't do. But it may be that you've got to approach it from a different way. Now, I draw inspiration for keeping up my enthusiasm from a young relative. She's almost 5, and she's at that age where everything is thrilling. I mean, just everything. And I look at her and I think, oh my goodness, that's wonderful. If you've got a dog who wags his tail at everything, that's another inspiration for you. Enthusiasm is great. Try and encourage it in yourself. I know it's possibly not possible that as we get to a later stage in life, we can ever be as enthusiastic again as a 5-year-old, but we could give it a go. So what could you get enthusiastic about now that could be part of your new life? Travel. Maybe you need to find someone who also wants to travel and really make some plans. Learn something new. Learn to cook differently. Colourful plant foods, high energy, not ruining your diet. Grounding creative projects are good. I mean, even if it's not that creative, painting your bedroom, say, it could be creative if you go for a really interesting colour, but it's a lot of routine and hard work. But it might just perk you up and give you some more enthusiasm for the person you are now. And I think if you've got a skill for making things, as some people have, then perhaps you want to develop an enthusiasm in some particular direction here, that now that your weight and your fitness is being sought out, you can give some time to something like that you're good at. I mean, maybe you're good at art and you haven't painted a picture since you were at school. Could this be the time to do it? Could you find enthusiasm in that? So often when people have had a big weight problem, they have felt that food and the pursuit of it was almost a tyranny. And I expect that some of you recognise that. But now you don't have that tyranny, and hopefully you can find all sorts of things that you could be really enthusiastic about, and they could be part of the person you're becoming. So look after yourself, open your mind to all sorts of possibilities that might not have been enthusiasm for you in the past, and just give things a go. You're doing very well. You just need to believe it.